Folks, my name is Nick Rajpal. I'm the VP of Marketing Sciences here. I joined the company 15 years ago next month, and at the time we were a small project-based business, and I was brought on to develop our solutions. So I developed our SEO solution, Google Ads, Amazon conversion testing, email, and our strategy philosophy, and built out the strategy team. Over the last several years, I've worked with net new business, just trying to figure out, I know what we've built, what should we apply to your business specifically? How can we make sure that we deploy ourselves correctly for your growth? And I'm the host of our webinar series as well. I know a lot of you, and if you do ask to meet, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you to discuss your business as well.
Great, thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Dana Lidsky. I've been with Exclusive almost 3 years now. During my time here, I've managed a variety of marketplace clients across all of the marketplaces we manage: Amazon, Walmart, Target, eBay, Wayfair, working with clients across all verticals. I've also helped kind of roll out the partnership, the awesome partnership we have with PackView here, and integrate that into the core strategy now. So super excited to finally be leading this webinar with them today, and sharing some of their capabilities and the tool that we've been incorporating into our service over the past year or so now. Awesome. In my current role here, just overseeing holistic strategy as an e-commerce marketing strategist here, coordinating both the marketplace strategy with all the other channels that we manage.
Awesome. Dana, can you just check if you can click through? Folks, we'll only do this live. We can give mouse control, so perfect, that worked for you.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. I'm Kyle Costa. I'm from the PackView team, a partner of the Exclusive team. We've been working together for some bit of time now, so I'm really excited to be talking and working with these two on a webinar. Myself, I have over 7 years of experience within e-commerce and digital advertising, coming from the seller side, vendor side at Amazon, and also the advertising side. So I've been at PackView for about 3 years. We do specialize in helping people reduce manual optimizations, gain efficiency within their advertising, and also broaden the insights that they have to make more data-driven decisions within their business. Really here to help people take their brands and agencies to the next level. So excited to show you some of the tools and features that we'll have today, and also kind of show and flex some of the skills the talented Exclusive team has.
Thank you, Kyle. And can we get you to test if you can click through as well?
Let me see. What am I clicking?
Perfect.
There we go.
Wonderful. Okay, well, folks, we worked hard on trying to figure out what is the best way for us to guide you through all the things we wanted to share today. And we thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could be comprehensive? Basically saying, what are the things that you should be doing today to have success on Amazon? We're not going to get into a lot of detail on things that you should already know, but rather try to spend more time focused on the things that you might not know. We're going to break this down. First, you set up your PDPs. How do you make sure that they're optimized for conversions? And then what do you do to then keyword optimize them so that you could potentially be in the running for rankings? How do you activate higher rankings through advertising and then coordinate between the two? And as you start to gain some traction, how do you defend the positions that you have? How do you conquest against your competitors and start to dominate the market and monitor it all the way along? Then we're going to get into a slightly new feature in Amazon's algorithm where you get a lot of credit for traffic that you bring to Amazon. So what can you do with that? And then finally, just to round things out a little, because we're going to talk a lot about like non-branded search and converting. We're going to talk a little bit about some other things that are important, like awareness, loyalty, and advocacy. So just to kick us off, we're going to start first with optimizing your product pages for conversions. Obviously, if you haven't done some of the basic things on your page, you drive traffic to it, it's all for naught. So let's just talk about easy ways for you to know you've done it right.
Sweet. So starting off with the brand audit, This is a feature that PackView has and exclusive leverages quite frequently. And what this tool really does is it gives us the ability to identify needs within the detail page to make your products retail ready to convert better. So with this tool, we can quickly audit the different products that you are selling, pinpoint the areas of that detail page that need help, support to get you to be the overall score of a 10. We all know and have probably experienced times where conversion isn't the best, and a lot of that can be due to poor detail pages. So you'll see this circle here where we can kind of identify all the different pieces that is part of Amazon's best practice for product detail pages. And so PackView really does help with the exclusive team being able to audit, identify these areas, work with you to build out those areas to convert better so that the paid media that you're driving to these pages is the most efficient as possible. Dane, I'll pass it to you so we can talk about some of those detail pages.
Great, let me go ahead and. Awesome. So I wanted to go through a couple examples of what we consider a winning PDP, ones that are really hitting all of that different criteria for retail readiness. Some of these are going to be actually exclusive client examples, some won't be, but wanted to walk through a couple of those key callouts. So this first one here from this brand, I would consider this a very, very solid PDP that is really retail ready, hitting all of the different criteria that Kyle just pointed out. I'd say the first call out is the optimized title, which, as a lot of you know, holds really a lot of weight with Amazon's algorithm. So making sure you're not only like hitting the best practices character limit, but then also having relevant keywords incorporated into that. Same thing goes for your bullets, your descriptions. You want to make sure that they're optimized from an SEO standpoint, but also give that description and the necessary information for customers. Another really strong aspect of this PDP is the imagery. You can see there's a variety of different images in addition to video. Amazon's recommendations about at least 5 images. They have that, but not just quantity, but also differentiation of different image types, value props, lifestyle, all of that. And then the second screenshot on the right is from their A+ content, which is another great way to kind of engage with the customer, increase conversion rates in a visually appealing manner. So going on to this next example, there's actually 2 examples here. So one of them, very similar to what we went over in the previous example, but I'd say the big call out there is the variations between their different versions of the product. So that particular brand has a couple of their different variations living on the same page, and what they did is they tailored their content, the titles, to match up and align with each of the variations. So if possible, we definitely recommend kind of aligning those keywords and extending your titles and your bullets to match with what that particular variation is. On the right here, this is another example of A+ content, but it's actually one of Amazon's newer feature called Brand Story A+ content. So this is more about brand awareness. It's a great awareness tactic that you can apply across all of your ASINs, give customers a little bit more information about your brand, also engage with them in another kind of visually appealing manner.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of things that you have to kind of juggle when you're thinking about these PDPs, and that's why we love this brand audit so much. It gives us a nice quantitative quick report measure. So for those of you who are here live, I know a lot of people will be watching this it's a recording, but because you're live here, we're ready to offer this PackView brand audit. Let's, why not run it? Let's check it out on one of your pages, see what kind of score you get a better understanding of the type of things you might just be missing that could be yielding slight improvements on your conversion rate. Get that same amount of traffic, but better conversion rate. That's money in your pocket. So any tool like this, you're just grateful that someone has spent the time to build it. I know a lot of people here in attendance are other agencies. You're not an ad spend, you're not an Amazon seller yet. So in your case, please just say no thanks. But for those of you who are and want us to work with PackView to run this for some of your pages, please just say yes and we'll reach out and get that going. I'm going to close this out in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, folks. But 60% of you answered. Really appreciate that. Um, all right. So next thing we want to talk about is just keyword discovery and optimization. Foundationally, if you want to get free traffic from Amazon, which is the holy grail to be a category killer, you've got to start first by letting Amazon in on the secret that you want to rank for this particular keyword. If you don't tell them, you won't be in the running. So what we've been doing for years is providing some form of service to our clients where we can regularly analyze and audit what's going on, where could we put some time, whether it's titles, like Dana was showing, or bullets, description at the bottom, the keyword fields in the back, maybe reading reviews to understand what people like about the product and what they don't, so they can refine what we offer. Value images, something Amazon's a big fan of. Storefronts, running um, ranking checks, running review checks. These are all ways in which we are supporting the complete impact of advertising, because advertising can have a multifold impact if you are spending some time around on conversion, organic reviews, etc. So it's kind of been a catch-all for our clients. And we have some technology that we developed that just helps us prioritize. So for example, we have a search term report for all of our clients that is giving us some insight. You can look at a search term and get a good sense of how you're doing on the paid side as well as the organic side. So you can start to prioritize. If you're not getting enough organic, you might need to optimize better for those keywords because you're paying a lot for them, for example. Or if you have wonderful rankings, maybe you can back off a little bit on the paid side. There's other ways to triage and prioritize what you do on the organic side. The challenge with organic is always, well, I'm going to do a lot of work. How do I know I'm doing the right work that's going to give me some good output? Technology like this, it's great that we have it. You could obviously do it on your own as well. We just made it, clickable, easy. For example, trying to figure out the pages that represent the most ad spend. If you can figure that out, then you can start to make more optimizations around that area, improve the conversion rate, get more keywords to rank, do some review sculpting. So this just guides you on the highest priority areas, just as you would for any type of conversion testing. And all the product data is in there at our fingertips. So for the many of you who are active clients, if you haven't been using this particular report, just let your Amazon specialist know, and we'll get you more acquainted with it.
And thinking about the research side with keywords. So for those of you that aren't familiar with PackView, we are a sister company with Helium 10. So with that, we have an immense amount of data around keywords, products, etc. And so here I have a little screenshot of our keyword research tool. Within this tool, you can absolutely research relative and related keywords from a single keyword you put in, an ASIN, or an even existing ad group. And so what this populates is not only related keywords that we find pulling from the Amazon search API, but also leveraging our own data and Helium 10's data. So you're using 3 different data sources to find these related keywords, as well as layering on the different metrics that will help you make the decision, like, is this keyword important? Is this trending? And so you'll see here, we have things called out. We have search volume trend, a 90-day look back. So you can see, where is this product trending now? It's going up. Looking at match types, looking at IQ score. How competitive is this keyword how many brands are out there competing on this. So this really allows you to hone in on these related keywords, as Nick was just talking about. Use these not only for implementing within your paid strategy, but also using these keywords for your organic SEO strategy. So again, we're using 3 different data sources to really find the best keywords to leverage within your ads and within your detail pages. By using those 3 different data sources, we give you the best keywords that you could possibly find to leverage here.
Awesome. And just one last thing that we've been able to utilize on our side for keyword research, and the main point that we want everyone to walk away with from in this section is, I think people know how to optimize a page, but they don't know how to monitor it and get the right research at their fingertips. That is what you need to up your game on as best as possible to be competitive today. We develop these ranking reports that help us monitor over long periods of time whether we are starting to slip in the rankings for very important keywords for clients. And then on the flip side, where we're not slipping, we're gaining traction not just for one product but multiple products for our particular keyword, and just being able to guide ourselves on those principles of we want to have more and more dominance and more to defend, but also to activate if there is a defense required or more ad spend required to kind of bolster a downward spiraling ranking. So just keeping check of all those things that line up to your objectives on Amazon.
Nick, real quick, I was gonna ask, so this reporting as well as some of the other exclusive reports that you guys have built out and dashboards, seems like it really does set you guys apart. Want to share just a little bit more about how you use these reports to create more value for your clients and even your internal teams?
Yeah, that's like so as holistic marketing experts, I think our biggest challenge has been 10 years ago, there were roughly 6 core channels. Today, there are over 15 channels that could make up um, a channel mix of a brand. You know, being everywhere where your customers might want to find you or interact with your brand, that's big. Um, and even trying to set goals at the channel level is ridiculously complex. And the attribution models are so different, you can't even compare apples to apples. It puts new pressure on us as holistic marketers to think in a very different way. And what we've done is we now have access to the data from all these different platforms, and we connect the dots. Like if you're looking at a particular product, all the data from every platform is lined up together in our systems, and we pull that data in real time into an enterprise data warehouse. It allows us then to do things like coordinate every single technology's awareness features as one strategy, or look at product level keyword data that we've gathered from years of Google Ads as we are now contemplating Amazon strategy and vice versa. So it gives us a lens that in many ways very similar to how PackView has created a wonderful portal between insights on Walmart and Amazon. Outside of the keyword world, I think we've done that specifically for all channels, and it's getting our clients more traction at lower cost.
That's awesome.
So next thing we wanted to talk about was just advertising to fuel sales velocity. For any of you who've been on Amazon for a long time, it's no surprise if you are on Amazon and you optimize for a keyword, you don't start ranking number 1. You start ranking like number 1,000. If you want to be anywhere on the top page, you first have to tell Amazon, I'm willing to pay for this keyword. I'm so sure that if I just showed up for this keyword, even if I paid for it, your Amazon customers are going to buy my product. And if I could prove that to you, and I can move units faster than anyone else, and there's always a little bit of a debate, is it units or total revenue? But if I can prove that I can move units of my product for that search term, I should take the top ranking. That is called sales velocity. So you have to prove yourself through advertising to even be in the running. After you've optimized for the keyword, now you prove that you should rank for the keyword. So this process is fairly straightforward. You optimize for said keyword that you want to rank for. You run ads for that product on that keyword. Watch it real closely because you might be failing. It might not even be the right time for you to target that keyword. You might need to build velocity with long tail keywords first, gather lots of reviews to really be a category killer for more competitive keywords. So plan your timing of when you're going to run ads and make sure you are proving it. If you are proving it and the numbers are looking fairly decent, even at a high A cost, just to be able to get traction on organic rankings for a really big keyword, this is your only way to do it. So you want to keep building that sales velocity, keep yourself in check, know when to bow out, know when to revisit keywords. And there are a few tips that we have that can just help do this process a little bit smoother.
Great. So I want to talk a little bit about how to leverage our best practice OPA campaign structure to really help fuel this sales velocity. And it's kind of the first step in our advertising strategy that we'll roll out for clients. So a lot of you are probably familiar with the automatic campaigns on Amazon. I would say the big differentiating factor of how we like to structure ours versus probably what a lot of you are doing already is how we separate the ad groups. Instead of having kind of a clump or a bulk of ASINs within ad group, we like to split up every single ad group at the SKU level. The bottom line is this is going to give us maximum control. We're going to be able to bid at the SKU level. We're going to be able to report on the SKU level. We have definitely found even within like an item, different variations, color, size, we see different search terms performing, and we want to optimize as granularly as we can. Make sure we're closely aligning that keyword, that search term data with the particular product that we're advertising.
I was going to say really quick, Dana, so when I'm talking with partners like yourself and also brands direct, there are a lot of different strategies that people leverage. There's some that are using single ad groups. Some people are clustering ASINs and SKUs. Some are clustering broad exact phrase. But like with your guys' OPA structure, what do you think really sets this structure apart for your team?
Yeah, I think it goes back to that level of control. And as Nick was saying, we have so much data and we have these awesome reports and tools to evaluate that. So we do have the ability to get super granular with our targeting and making sure when we see a particular SKU or ASIN performing well on a term, we want to make sure that's the product that's being advertised with that and get as specific as we can with our targeting to eliminate wasted spend, make sure we're maximizing that return on ad spend. So I think we found that this particular structure, at least within the automatic campaigns, still allows us to get that great scale, the volume, especially when we're kind of ramping up, but also do it in a little bit more of a controlled and strategic way. Whereas I think a lot of times with some of the automatic campaigns, if you don't have it separated this way, you just lose some of that control. And then the only other thing I'll say with the OPAs is I think it definitely ties into what we were saying about optimizing your PDPs and making sure you have retail ready PDPs because automatic campaigns are kind of very reliant on what's on that product detail page, the keywords that are there. So you will see, or you'll be able to maximize your success with these with better optimized product pages.
I like that you talked about the specific products and being able to kind of pull some on and off. I think one thing that I see a lot is that people just assume that you're supposed to advertise every ASIN in your catalog. And you can find that, maybe one product actually gets a lot of clicks and the brand halo sales lift works out in a way that you don't need to advertise every single product. So super cool.
Absolutely. Okay, so moving, oh no, I went forward one, let's see. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so moving forward, another kind of key thing to look at when we're looking to really drive that sales velocity is you want to make sure that you're advertising those products that have the highest ratings, highest reviews. As a lot of you know, Amazon definitely puts a lot of weight on the ratings. You're going to rank higher organically if you have higher reviews. And you want to make sure that those are the ones that ultimately you're focusing on driving traffic to, because those are going to be the ones that convert at the highest rate. We have a great tool within our Business Insights reporting that you can actually track all of the reviews, the ratings behind all of your different ASINs and kind of see where they stand. So you can actually incorporate these findings into your ad strategy. For an example, you can easily see which of your ASINs live in that 4-star plus bucket, and maybe you want to get a little bit more of an aggressive ad campaign going behind those, knowing that those are going to convert at a higher rate. Other way around, if there's a particular product that maybe dropped off in reviews, unfortunately, and you previously were putting a lot of spend towards it, we'd expect that that conversion rate would start to decrease a bit. So might be an opportunity to shift that around. So really incorporating a kind of rating-based strategy both into what you're doing with the advertising, but then also organic, knowing that, all right, if you have a product that's getting good ratings and customers are purchasing it, like make sure everything else is optimized and it's retail ready and all of the other aspects, because that's just going to further kind of increase your chances of getting that conversion.
So as we get through kind of the halfway mark here, once you have been advertising and you start to get some traction, things get a little bit more stressful. You may also rest on your laurels and lose something that you thought you were locked in for a long time. It's actually easy to dethrone someone on Amazon, which means you've got to protect your crown quite a bit. So we'll talk a little bit about knocking other people down and protecting your space.
Absolutely. So at Exclusive, with our clients, we do want to make sure on Amazon we are running really that kind of full funnel strategy and hitting customers at every stage in the journey. And that means going both on what we call the offense and the defense. You want to be aggressive and you want to make sure that you're continuing to conquest your competitors, whether that comes in the form of actually bidding on your competitors' branded terms, or your competitors' terms, or you can also do ASIN targeting and try to show up on their pages. On the other hand, you also want to make sure that you're protecting your space and maintaining your market share and having some strategies that are going to go more on the defense. That's going to come in two forms as well. You can, one, yes, bid on your own branded terms in the SERP, but also a tactic that we have had a lot of success with and think is definitely worth kind of executing is making sure that you're defending your own product pages with ads for your other products. So you can do that both in the form of either sponsored product or sponsored display ads. I think specifically within sponsored display, because there's a number of placements that show up like right underneath the bullets, under the add to cart. Even if a customer is landing on one of your pages, they see one of those sponsored display ads on another page, on your page. Ideally, you want to keep that customer within your brand. So if you are properly defending your pages and they do click away to one of those ads, they're still going to be going to either like a substitute product of yours, maybe like a complementary product. So you can definitely kind of roll out these offensive and defensive strategies across all of the different ad types, whether it is in the keyword targeting or the ASIN targeting format.
So one thing that I see is like super important in going kind of into the conquest and brand protection is like product targeting. When I was leaving Amazon, one of the biggest pushes was sponsored display. Everyone here probably has tested, seen, experienced sponsored display. And with product targeting, sometimes it can be very manual trying to find out, who are your true competitors. 3 years ago when I was at Amazon, people were just throwing every competitor into a sponsored display campaign and performance was not great. The reason being is because your competitors have different price points, different reviews, all sorts of different pieces that could make it convert well against your product or possibly very, very poorly. So with PackView, we have a tool called our product research tool. This is again leveraging Amazon's API, our internal data, as well as Helium 10's data to identify related products based off of a given ASIN or an ad group. This ASIN can be a competitor ASIN, it can be your ASIN, it can be any ASIN you'd like. We give you a huge list, you'll see here in the screenshot, give you a huge list of all the different products so that you can identify who are the related products to your brand or ASIN or ad group. From there, we layer in Helium 10 data to give you estimated sales, revenue, and units. How many sellers are on there? Who's the brand? Giving you these metrics and these pieces of data for you to then filter down to find a product that will make you convert better. You know, you've got a high price point item. You probably want to target other products with a high price point. You want to maybe pick on a product that has poor reviews. You've got really good reviews. You can identify products with poor reviews that are related. Not only can you use this for identifying and bringing in new product targets for sponsored display, but any product targeting campaigns that you'd like. Also, I've seen people use this just for research as well. Maybe they're not using it for paid advertising, but maybe just for research to get an idea who's out there, how they're doing, etc. And so I think this really does bring in that extra layer. We're not just targeting every competitor, and the exclusive team can use this to hone in on products that make the most sense, that will convert and make you guys more money with less spend.
Cool. So on the topic of the offense and defense tactics, wanted just to walk through a couple examples of what that would look like. Like I said, this can be in the form of either sponsored products, sponsored display ads. So this particular one here is going to be the sponsored product ads. The one on the left is coming from product targeting, ASIN targeting. So the brand is targeting a competitor page and showing up in that sponsored products related to section. And then on the right side there, that's going to be from more of a keyword strategy, so actually going after a competitor's keyword. So this next example is looking at sponsored display. So you can see the PDP is for a dog food product. If you see those two sponsored display placements down below, that's another brand who sells the same thing, who is actually trying to conquest and target the Blue Diamond page.
Can you say for a second, Dana, how crazy it is that this even exists? This is like advertising your product on your competitor's website, and how few people actually use this when it's available readily for yours. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just the fact of like how visible those placements are, they're right under the add to cart button, right under the bullet. So a customer's looking there, they're browsing this particular page, like they have to see those other ads.
And it's very cool, like you don't even have to be a matched product. It doesn't have to be the same product either. Like the dog food example, it didn't look to be a dog food product. It looked to be something that you could use maybe if you owned a dog. So finding areas on Amazon that you know your product meshes well with, landing right on that page, Nick, like you're saying, like right on their website nearly, being able to allow for like cross-selling into your own brand from some very popular brands that are probably driving an incredible amount of traffic to those detail pages, paying for that traffic to get eyeballs on your ad. So super cool there.
Yep, absolutely. Here are a couple more examples of that. You can see like the Amazon paper towel brand is conquesting on Bounty, which we all know is a very big brand there, trying to steal away their traffic, knowing that I'm sure this Bounty page is one of the higher traffic paper towel pages on Amazon. Same thing with the robot vacuum down here. In this case, it's a kind of substitute or product, but like Kyle said, you can do a lot of cool things with cross-selling and maybe even testing like a complementary product, knowing that that particular customer might be interested in it. So going into a couple defensive examples, Listerine is just doing an incredible job of defending their own pages. So you can see on the left, this is one of their product detail pages. Both of those sponsored, oops, I went forward too many. Sorry about that. I'm gonna show this one first. Okay. Cool. Both of these sponsored display placements here are Listerine's other products. So someone lands on, I can't even see whatever that purple flavor is, and maybe they're like, oh, I want the other type of mint, and they see that. They're still staying within the Listerine brand. Same thing goes for those other examples on the right. And then just another example, Listerine doing the same thing of really defending their brand within the SERP using a keyword strategy. You type in their brand name, they are everywhere. They're in the sponsor brand placement with an awesome custom image. They are dominating those first 4 placements above the fold. So that's really what you want. You want to make sure when someone is searching your brand, you're pushing out any competitors, not giving them a chance to really be there. And then at the same time, looking for opportunities to try to steal away some of your competitors' traffic.
Awesome. So talking about improving your posture. So what we're going to talk about here is PackView's share of voice tool, where we're able to scrape 7 to 8 times daily on keywords that you put into the tool. The exclusive team has been utilizing this as well as some of our more advanced features to optimize placement. So share of voice is something that a lot of people talk about. You know, it's a great report to see, like, are we gaining share? Are we losing share? But there's a lot of things that we can actually do with this. So the share of voice tool, 7 to 8 times daily, and it's pulling these reports. This here you'll see is like an overview report giving you an idea of all the top brands, the trends of the top brands. Who are some new brands in the space based off these keywords? It's very cool because you can track branded terms, category terms, competitor terms, really understand, you know, what's happening across all your different segments. Here, what I like to tell people is, like, this tool is endless. The uses are absolutely endless. You can use it for so many different pieces, even identifying how your competitors are doing. There's some math that we can also do to understand investment based off of frequency of the ads and cost per clicks you're seeing in the space. So again, kind of going into that you know, endless opportunity. I'm going to jump into the next here. Oh. There we go. So what I was going into is why would you track share of voice? Why would you care about share of voice? So understanding what the changes are, especially with your ad investment, I think is really important. You know, if you're continuing to invest more and more and more into ads, but you're not seeing more share going towards your products, maybe there's a time to reflect at how and what you're advertising against. Maybe what you're advertising or you're building within your campaigns isn't driving towards bigger market share to gain more sales. Also, just to understand, like, competitive insights. One of the things I think is very, very powerful with this share of voice tool is that we can show you the exact percentage of ownership based off of the ad type. So based on a keyword, let's go back to the dog food example. Let's say you type in dog food. You can absolutely understand every brand that is popping up for the keyword dog food, and you can understand the percentage of ad type ownership. So you can see that, you know, the blue diamond is owning maybe 20% of all sponsored products listings, sponsored brand listings, sponsored display, sponsored brand video. You can understand where and how often they're popping up and how much they're actually owning. I think it's very, very important because it absolutely can identify golden nuggets. What if you find that one of your top competitors has a 0% sponsored brand video ownership on a very, very high ranking category keyword? You could find that using this tool. You could leverage that keyword within your ads and find somewhere where people are not investing. So competition's low, which means cost per click is low. You own that keyword now. So very, very cool information. I know the exclusive team is using this frequently, but that's the share of voice tool with PackView.
Kyle, if I could jump in real quick. So I think it's clear that the share voice tool, the reporting, is awesome to have. There's a lot you can do with it. How can we kind of take that a step further and actually incorporate it into our advertising strategy?
So the share of voice tool, one thing is that it actually feeds into our rules. So the exclusive team, you guys have been tested and using this a little bit so far and utilizing it with your clients. But what you can do is actually use your share of voice data to optimize your advertising campaigns. So if you want to rank in a certain position for a certain keyword, we can utilize the share of voice data to then increase or decrease bids to help you hold that position. Not only hold that position, but get you to page one or get you above a certain organic listing, because we also track organic placements and organic ownership. So using the share of voice data, we can then implement rules to move your bids and budgets to get you into certain placements or into a certain share of voice target or threshold, you could say.
Absolutely. I think a lot of our clients have already started expressing interest in this tool because they'll often give us a goal for maybe a particular product. We want to make sure this product's showing on page one, either organically or from the paid side, and we can actually set these automated rules, increase the bids until we are showing, but if we're there already organically, maybe it's an opportunity to save some ad dollars there, cut back and automatically pull back that bid, as long as you're still maintaining that organic visibility on that page.
Totally. A lot of people right now are testing with the deduping, like duplicate listings. So if you're ranking very high organically, like what does it look like with like your margin when you reduce paying for an ad that sits right next to organic listings? So share of voice is the way that you can track, you can measure, and you can make these data-driven decisions based off 7 to 8 times daily scraped around Amazon's anti-scraping bots.
Awesome.
So this is still me. Totally, I went off mute. Sorry, everyone. So leveraging paid and organic, I kind of touched on this. So this is what we were talking about a little bit earlier, is using the data to then drive strategic actions on ad campaigns. So using that organic percentage versus paid, understanding when we increase bids, budgets, we push harder within certain keywords. How does that change our organic share? We all know that driving paid media to our listings can help with increasing organic rank, increasing visibility of our product, and driving that up the page. And so with this, we can track and see as we invest more on a certain keyword, very granular keyword, we can see, is that increasing our organic share? Is it not? And then we can kind of play, the test and learn. Like if we increase here, how much share do we increase? Are we increasing organic rank or placement to see if the paid media is actually driving, positive return and increases for us? I think I covered that one as well on everything here.
Perfect, folks. We have about 5 more minutes worth of stuff that we wanted to cover, and then we're going to take some questions as well from you guys. So we've already got one question in. If there's any questions that you've been thinking about during this, please just go to the questions box and send it over. We'll get to that very shortly. So not everyone knows that the A9 algorithm has now moved on. It's an A10 algorithm. What is the algorithm? So the algorithm in Amazon is Amazon's mechanism to study which product should show up for the top position, second position, etc. For any keyword. And of course, optimizing for the keyword is a must. Sales velocity is a must. There are a lot of other factors where everything is equal, right? So like say in the last 30 days, you sold 1 unit and there's like 100 other products that sold 1 unit. You can get to the top of that group by having better optimization. There's some fulfillment and product review aspects that could kick in, but still the most important is up at the top. Sales velocity within Amazon, relevance for the keyword either front end or back end, FE or B. And then you can also drive sales in to Amazon from other sources. So now that Amazon gives you credit for promoting your product on other websites like Google Ads, and you'll rank better in Amazon, people are taking advantage of it. And luckily, they created really good Amazon attribution, so you can actually start to use Meta or Google, whatever you wish. Google is taking it a step further. Google has actually created a whole section within Google Ads just meant for you to connect to your Amazon that creates the attribution. There's a whole set of features that you can advertise. You can't use shopping, but you can use search, call outs, images, dynamic images. You can have multiple price points. You can have your promotions show up. And while you're advertising, you get to see how many sales you made on Amazon, and your Amazon rankings go up as well. So if you haven't been using this already, great time to start using that. Other challenges with trying to advertise, let's say on Meta, and trying to then figure out how much you get a boost on Amazon. This has been solved through attribution models and tracking for a long time, but something that is bigger than attribution models, something that corrects and normalizes data, is a media mix model. In a media mix model, you can input how many different places you're advertising in Google Ads, Meta Ads, Google Shopping, whatever it is. And then, while that's a daily update of insight of how much you spend, also looking at the daily revenue numbers on Amazon on your website and allowing a media mix model, which is a multiple regressive model, to figure out the correlations. Once it figures out the correlations, it says, we're ready, check out the data. Here's what your revenue has been for the last 12 months, all the improvements you've made so far. Here's the revenue for the next 12 months. Great, you can plan around that. This has been the total advertising cost across all of your advertising in your entire ecosystem. You, congratulations, you made improvements, and now it's going to go down to this for the next 12 months. Do you want to know what advertising is improving your revenue the most? Here it is. Social has the least impact for your brand, but paid search is 7 times more impactful on creating revenue, and shopping is 12 times more impactful. You can then take those insights and rerun them into a media mix modeling tool and get new projections for what you're going to spend and make and the seasonality that you want to plan for. All these screenshots are from the media mix model that we've developed for our clients. It is populated in real time and it is activated for every client. For the first time, you can see how much your meta is improving your Amazon, and you don't need to worry about the disconnect there. Just go a little bit deeper on a few other things that we think people should think about when planning out their Amazon. We've talked about, targeting non-branded terms and then targeting your branded keywords when people are finally ready to convert. But there's other things you can do on Amazon that are more like what you would do to manage your advertising on your website. And to properly introduce this, just want to kind of clue you into how we look at marketing. So there's a lot of different ways in which people can plan marketing. We talked about when Kyle asked that question, there's 15 channels. You could just plan by channel. That's something. You could plan your customer journeys. Customer journeys are great. Thinking about what am I going to do for awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty, and advocacy is really great. But even if you plan for it that way, there's no great way to track that because these 5 stages are going through 15 different channels. An attribution is broken. What we say is do things a little different. Instead, plan your investments and your targets using those 5 different concepts. What is your investment level going to be for awareness? What is the return that you want? What about for non-branded search? That's consideration. For past visitors until they buy, for past customers, are you going to have a investment asking people to like or review or share, even though it may not make you money right away? But it starts to virtuously support all the other things and spins the flywheel of your business. Think about it from a financial standpoint, a planning standpoint. And doing this has become a principle of how we now have been able to absorb the shock of now 15 channels in the e-commerce journey. It allows us to plan. Every platform has something for awareness, so activate those tactics in a strategic way. Summarize your ad spend and see what the return is. I was lucky we built reporting and a tagging meta tagging structure for us to be able to see at any given time. Here's all your awareness spend and the return. Here's all your consideration across every platform. Now you can be truly strategic. And then you go back to a platform like Amazon and you say, I'm really excited to have a lot of awareness investment. What can I do with awareness on Amazon? So Dana, what can we do on the awareness side for Amazon display?
Yeah, so I know when we were talking about sponsored display earlier, we were mostly going over the product targeting. Separately, there's also audience targeting, which allows you to get kind of both this awareness activity and then also the loyalty activity, which I'll go into in a minute. Amazon has introduced some of these more interest-based, lifestyle-based audiences that you can really use to kind of fuel that awareness, reach customers at that beginning of the virtuous activity cycle. So these are the 4 different type of audiences that would kind of fall under that awareness bucket. And then moving forward, from a loyalty standpoint, you can also target past purchasers in addition to customers who visited your page and maybe didn't convert, but that would be a little bit more in the conversion phase. If we're strictly talking loyalty, that's going to be hitting customers who have purchased before, and you want to make sure that you retain them, they turn into a lifelong customer. So running those sponsored display past purchaser audiences is a really effective way of doing that.
And outside of like monitoring your reviews and sculpting your reviews, which you can now respond to bad reviews in the last 6 months, everyone should do that. There's a bigger advocacy play at Amazon. Amazon has gone out to what they consider influencers, people who have like at least 200,000 followers on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. They've handpicked people. They've invited them to have their own storefront on Amazon. Whatever they promote, if someone clicks through their influencer page to buy something on Amazon, they get money. So for the first time, influencers who've had a lot of trouble monetizing in a more saturated space will get checks from Amazon directly. So we're starting to develop a playbook to be able to interact with these influencers, get them to promote your product, add them to the list so that they're making money. You're not paying for it, Amazon's paying for it. It's pretty impressive. So we're just going to close out with a quick ask, um, exclusive specifically. We manage all these different channels. We've figured out strategy to coordinate across and the technology required to bring all the data from all these platforms into a simple strategy that can get your marketing efficiency ratio down, growth to grow as fast as possible and spin your flywheel. Um, we offer a planning process for this. We don't charge for it. So if you're a business that might be wondering, um, like what would the plan be if exclusive looked at my business, start to understand what really gets under my customer's skin, study my competitors, study my channel mix, come back to me and tell me what I should be doing and why. Tell me the science behind it, the why I should be investing in a particular channel mix that's going to give me the highest likelihood of finally hitting my goals and aggressive goals at that. If you're asking for this plan, we're going to contact you, walk you through what the plan actually would be, see if you're qualified. And if you are qualified, we don't charge for this. This is our planning process to bring on new clients. We like to be very prepared with new clients. We don't like to get anything wrong. So it's an extensive process, but we don't charge for it. Just gives you all the detail. It's as much due diligence as you could possibly imagine, but also a unique perspective that we have honed for the last 26 years as the first online retail agency ever. So with that, I'll keep that up. But folks, let's just check out questions. Um, so Dana, do you want to answer the question from Devin?
Yep, absolutely. So just to start to confirm, Devin, when we were going over that one product per ad group strategy, the OPA strategy, so that is applicable to the automatic campaigns, which do not bid on specific keywords. So we wouldn't necessarily recommend splitting up every SKU into different ad groups for a manual campaign. With that being said, though, Amazon's algorithm does know not to compete against your own self. So if you are targeting the same keyword across whether it's multiple campaigns, multiple ad groups, you won't kind of cannibalize and won't artificially drive up CPCs. It will just kind of go based on what your bids are, and then also which one is ranked higher according to Amazon.
Awesome. Folks, if you have any other questions, thank you, by the way. 57% of people have asked for us to reach out. 59% now. For next steps on the free growth plan. Really excited about meeting up with you guys and starting to do our process. It's a lot of due diligence, but it's going to be great for you to understand your business through that lens. We had a question here from Karen. Is it recommended to optimize titles of books like it is for other product listings? Um, I'll, I'll share my thoughts. I think for any business, any category, you should establish a rubric early on that that can help you fulfill your title tags because you have so much space in those title tags. So, for example, for books, I would say it would be title of the book plus maybe different publishers would have categorized that book in three different adult romance or children's literature, adolescent, whatever it may be, and try to map it, try to have keywords for those three different categories. Put age, which is obviously a really big thing in the book side, and don't just say ages 5 through 10. Say for ages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So once you establish that kind of rubric of the different keywords that you might want to show up for, that you can imagine your customers typing in, you have the rubric established, so now you can always follow that simply for every single product, and you don't need to revisit keyword research from scratch every time. Dan, anything to add there? Or Kyle?
I'm aligned with that.
Awesome. How much of your budget do you recommend spending on awareness, consideration, conversion, and loyalty? Shannon, this is the biggest conundrum for us. What we've done is we have found a way to split e-commerce into two different families. And we believe that essentially there's a search-based journey that exists and a brand-based journey. For those of you who are hanging out with us for a moment, I will show you what the difference is. In a search-based journey, what you're looking at is you're in a business where people don't necessarily know the brand that they want to buy. Brand awareness is not that important to them. They actually know the category through categorical phrase searches. Um, Here we go. Can you see this now? Dana, Kyle, can you see this? Great. So in a search-based journey, your language that you might use is all about categorical phrases. You know what to call something, but you don't know the brands that much. So you would search, and the winner in that space would be someone who is really optimized for these search intent, not brand keywords, and they over optimize on Amazon, on Google, Google Shopping, Pinterest, and that's how they win. A brand-based journey, um, you're aware that your customers in your space fall in love with the brand and then only buy from the brands that they know, like footwear, for example. So if you identify as a brand-based journey, then you're going to want to focus first and foremost with awareness and conversion. That's going to drive the most efficiency. And if you want to round it out, you could also have non-branded search and focus on your past customers. But if you're in a search-based journey, awareness is not going to matter as much because it doesn't matter to the customer. You then focus mostly on having the best search visibility possible. Any search-based journey client of ours would be very active on PackView, for example. Hopefully that helps. That's one of the methodologies we developed to bring our framework to life. Awesome. Glad that helped. Any other questions, folks? Those are really great questions. Really appreciate that. And if not, then I just want to thank Dana and Kyle. This was a lot of fun. PackView, we've got to do a lot more of these. Thank you guys for giving us a tool to help our clients that needed some extra boost, and um, who knew that you guys would build something so incredibly compelling and allow us to dominate more there. Dana, thank you for bringing your knowledge and the case studies as well. There, I know you brought a lot of case client examples in there. And thank you folks for taking some time on a Wednesday. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Come out for the next webinar. Cheers,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye, Nick. Bye,
Thanks,
Dana.
everyone. Bye, everyone.